If you find yourself often copy pasting data from the web and inserting that into Google Sheets, you should be aware of certain functions that can do this task for you. There are 3 functions in particular that can scrape websites and automatically capture data into your Google spreadsheets. So this video we're going to cover the import data, import XML and import HTML functions to see how you can benefit from using these functions and save yourself a lot of copy pasting time. So let's start with the import data function. So if we simply type import data, we should see an example. So Google will automatically give us an example of data. So in this case, it will read from a CSV file. So the import data function can read from CSV files and TSV files as long as you provide a link to that file online. So I just tried this link and this one doesn't actually work. So I found a website where we have links to several CSV files. So if you already have a link, you can just use that. Otherwise, go to this particular URL. I will link that up below. So if we use that and then link to one of these files, so let's right click and then copy the link address and then type again import data, quotation mark, that link and then end the quotation mark, close off, see what happens. So it will automatically find the data in that CSV file and insert it in your sheet. So if we do it another time with a different file, so let's take the air travel one, again copy the link and then is import data, open quotation mark, enter the link to the CSV file and close it off. So this will automatically insert this data. So if these CSV files get updated and are still hosted on the same link, your sheet will automatically get updated as well. So that's pretty cool. It can also save you a lot of headache if it's hard to copy paste from that CSV file. So in this case, you don't have to download the CSV file, you can just directly insert it. So that saves you a bit of time. So the other function is the import XML function. So this is import data. So let's type here the import XML function, import XML. So XML is simply a language that allows us to refer to specific locations on a web page. So if we type equals import XML, we see what's kind of expected. So in the example, Google links to a Wikipedia page from the moon landing, which I refer to in cell A1. So this is the same particular link here. So we can use cell A1 instead of copy pasting the link. And then what Google does with this reference, it is taking all the links, so all the href links from that particular website. So what I think is interesting to show is a different approach. So let's just take, for instance, the index. So if we go to this page, so this is the moon landing page, and I copied this URL. I'm, for instance, interested in getting the content of this index. So let's see how we can do that. So first off, let's type the URL. So the URL will be cell A1, and then we want to have the XPath query. So a quick way to get this is by going inside the page and then going right click, inspect. So this works in your Chrome browser. You're able to see the code. So if you then open the inspector and hit on the Elements tab in the top left, this mouse icon, you're then able to select anything on this web page. So what we want to do is select one of these items, and then we see, okay, we have a unordered list with all kinds of list items. And what we would like to do is scrape the unordered list content. So let's select the UL tag and then right click, copy the full XPath, copy that, go back into our sheet and then insert that between quotation marks. Close it off and see what happens. So it will now automatically find all these points, so 1 till 23. So let's just check if that's correct. Yes, that's indeed correct. And in case you want to get this horizontally or vertically, you can use the transpose function. And then we get it vertically. So that's great. You might want to further down split this out. So there are ways to do that as well with, for instance, the split function. I'll leave that for a different video, but for now we've covered the import XML function to get data from a particular web page. So a very similar function which you can use is import HTML, which is particularly handy for instance, tables. So on the moon landing website, we have, let's close our inspector, we can find a table as well. So let's see if we can scrape all this data from this table in one go. This is oftentimes something you might do on other web pages where you just want to collect all the data for your analysis. And the import HTML function is ideal for that. So let's type import HTML. And then again, it gives an example. So we want to use cell A1 again as reference. And then we want to take a table. So it will automatically identify the table tags. And then we just need to find out how many tables are in this page. So if I, for instance, do table 1, thinking that there's only one table, it actually gives us something else. So it says clickable map of the locations, table date and landing date, Luna 2. So this is here at the top. So it actually identified this part on the right hand side. So it has taken this text, for instance, and this text. So what we want to do is find the right table. So we just have to count. So in Wikipedia, this is a table. These images are tables. So that's already 3. This is another table, and there are multiple tables inside here. So that's 6. This is 7, 8. So that way you can count. So let's say the table is the 9th one. So let's try it with 9. And it might actually not work. It might be the 10th or the 11th. So it's indeed not the 9th one. Let's go with 10. There we go. So it's the 10th table on that particular page. And now we've got all the particular data in one go. So if we just delete this, you can see it nicely. Mission, the mass, launch vehicle, and it's exactly the same as we have here. So that's pretty cool. Saves a lot of data if you know how to work with that, especially if you want to do multiple tables and the tables are a bit messy. This is a very neat way to get it into your sheet in one go. And if those tables update inside the web page, your sheet will also automatically update. So if you have any questions on this, feel free to ask them to me directly or leave a comment, or alternatively go into the Google Sheet Formulas cheat sheet that we've created. And if you then look for import, you find a few functions with examples and as well as links to more information so that you can troubleshoot yourself. But as always, feel free to leave a comment, tag me in a question, and I'll try to help you out. And otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.